Hey, this is Colton Dixon, and you're listening to Dispatch Radio.
All right, guys, welcome back to Dispatch Radio, and I tell you what, I want to close out our Winter Jam talk for this week and really just prime the pump for just a great tour ahead. I know they're in Illinois tonight. Obviously, they're going through the Midwest and some areas like that, so if you have not been to jamtour.com to find a show near you, you're missing out. It was a great show here in Tampa, and it was great to see For King and Country back out there doing their thing. Dove Award-winning, Grammy Award-winning. It's great to have Luke Smallbone on with us. Luke, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. How are you doing today?
Oh, what a great day! What a great show! I'm just so happy for you guys. It was just so awesome, and give everybody a little heads up on what it's like to go from that that 15-minute set that's kind of in the middle, and now you're kind of at the end. You get a longer set. You get to involve some of the different artists, even more creative. Give everybody about what they're going to see, what they're going to expect, and what that's been like for you guys.
Yeah, well, it's kind of interesting. It's never something that I quite planned on in a roundabout way. You just take life as it comes a lot of times, and for us to be fortunate enough to close out the night, I remember when we first had these discussions, it was like, man, are they serious? Do they really want us to do this? It's like, yeah, all right, well, let's dream up some ideas of how we could do that. And I think that's what's been the most fun is, when you play end of night, you got a longer set, so you don't have to just jump in and jump out type of thing. You can get started, and you can share obviously more music, share more stories, and share more songs, and because of that, you're able to be a little bit more creative than what you might have been able to when you only had 15 minutes. So it's been a thrill for us to be able to get to be out on Winter Jam again, and if you haven't come out and see the tour, the special tour, and if you already have, thanks for coming. It's been great so far.
Notice you talk about how to get more creative. When this is a guy we were talking to before, we were praising for just the most incredible 15-minute set last time on Winter Jet with drums absolutely everywhere. Well, as we said, folks, we came out of the Tampa show a couple weeks ago. We told you guys you will not be disappointed. I know the folks in Evansville last night were not disappointed, and I know we had a caller coming in saying how excited he was for an upcoming show. And it is just a great night. 10 bands, $10. The general admission tickets. There's VIP tickets, Jam Nation tickets, those kinds of things. Get yourself hooked up at jamtour.com. And Luke, you talk about the experience and all of that, and your music has exploded into this. It's just everything is happening. You still got new songs dropping on the radio, bro. There's still no end. There's still no end in sight. I know Priceless is just now really getting legs ahead of the movie. Different things that are happening. Cloud9. Is that even fair to say?
It's special that you would say it like that. With all the different things that we are doing and working on, there's a lot of there is a lot of work that goes into it. So in one sense, you're right, man. This is some of the most special memories that we're getting to make. We're getting to do things that we never dreamed that we'd be able to do. Just the thought that we're playing on a tour, that we're closing the night, that you're playing arenas everywhere you go. Just right there, that's an insane opportunity. And sometimes you have to force yourself to actually sit back and go, man, this is really, really special that we get to do it like this. But at the same time, you got to hit the ground running with a lot of other things, because what most people don't realize is if something's coming out now, that means we worked on it a year ago,
right?
And that's a very that's a rare thing to think about. There's that big of a lead up time for something about the music and show that we create.
And I think that's what we'll see with Priceless. Like when you guys are now, you're seeing that, folks. Priceless is a film coming out. There's a little bit of action to that. They do tease that a little bit, and really just a serious human trafficking topic. We've talked about that here on the show. How passionate I am about that. It is definitely not something that you want to miss. And Luke, do you guys, as you start to dabble, for lack of a better term, as you're kind of alluding to a little bit, with writing new songs, putting together some new ideas, new things? How do you guys do that? How do you guys do that on the road? How do you guys put that together?
Well, we try to work on the road as much as possible. Our whole goal is that when we're out on the road, that we're working, and when we're home, we're hanging out with family. Because if you work all the time, you have no well to draw from,
Yeah.
And so you have to have both. And you'd be amazed at the amount of songs and things that come from very, very simple Very, very simple experiences that you're either having at home, a conversation you had with your wife, a conversation you're having with your kids, whatever that might be. And so there is the balance of trying to make sure you're being intentional with your time, because that's probably the hardest thing that we deal with as a career, just time management, just trying to figure out how to fit everything in, do everything to the quality and the expertise that it needs to be at, because as things grow, things get more complicated, more sophisticated, and they get more. There's more pressure. There's more expectation, and you can't let people down. You got to do your best to hold this standard of music and art very, very high, and that's our goal. But it doesn't make it any easier. And so that's been kind of when you start out in music, you have the van and trailer memories. You have like this grunt work ethic that you need to get going. And then as you grow, things change. You might have more resources to do different things, but the amount of work doesn't change. It's just different.
And the Small Bone family is a act in and of itself. I mean, I know you guys see Joel and Luke on stage. We've talked about it very briefly on this show, but I know that he's got family that are doing different tasks. They're on tour with them. They do different things. And, of course, we know about Mariah. And my girls just cheered in the background, I'm certain. The family part of that just keeps it rooted even when you are on the road. Everyone's a professional. Everyone understands that part of it. We'll flip the switch off later on. But it makes it so much more personal, right? I mean, everyone's involved. It's been like a family thing for years.
Man, I have, yesterday we were in Evansville, and all of my brothers were out for that show, and
wow.
Then my little sister was out as well. So we're only missing one of the immediate family, and then
I guess it's important to interject here. They are from Australia, folks. If you don't know that and didn't recognize it from Luke's accent, by the way, just to let you understand, I know they live in Nashville, but there you go.
Yep. No, you're right. You're right. So, we obviously our wives and family come out quite a bit, but it is a family thing. My son Jude's out with me as we speak, and my other brother Ben and his son Ash is out. And so to get to make these memories and is special. But one of the reasons why we work together as a family so much is because we trust each other. We've done a lot together. We've struggled a lot together over the years. And when I want something done right, the first people that I think to call is my family. I don't think to call, hey, well, that guy on his website says he's really good at that. A lot of times it's you go to what you know, and what I know is family, and I know how to work with them. And one of the greatest gifts that we have in music is that my brother Joel and I, we are family, and so we can really wrestle with music. We can really, try and get to the bottom of why that's good or why that's not good, and what do we need to correct and what do we need to enhance. And because we're brothers, we can have disagreements, but yet when you're brothers, at the end of the day, you're still brothers. You love each other. Where, if you're just friends, it might be a deal breaker when that person disagrees with you and they're like, man, you're complicated and I'm done. You know what I mean? It can kind of get to that point where with family, man, you're still going to be doing Christmas together. You're still going to be doing Thanksgiving, and we love each other no matter what. And because of that, we can really go at things appropriately.
I want to tap into something. I don't want to steal your thunder, because I know you definitely share your testimony a little bit on tour. You shared something very personal with the audiences, but I also thought it was important to maybe give you a chance to try to lay something down and record that'll be there forever, for lack of a better perspective on things. And that is, you had kind of a near-death experience here. You kind of really had God touching you and working in your life in a way that you've shared and changed you so much. And I was to give you a chance to at least speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, man, I got diagnosed with a digestive disorder nearly 3 years ago, actually getting close to 4 years now, 3.5 years ago now. And I got really, really sick. I didn't really take it as seriously at one point as I probably should have. Got really, really sick. And because of that, I had to come off the road for about 2.5 months. And I got down to about 125 pounds, and I'm 6'4", so you're talking really, really, really light at that point. And, it was crazy. I had my wife coming to me thinking that there was a chance that I was never going to recover, and it was just a strange scenario. And I learned a lot of things that you learn maybe when you're 50, 60, when you're starting to see the fact that no matter how healthy you are, that your time is coming to an end at some point. And I got to experience that in my 20s. and I'm forever thankful for that. It's not been an easy journey, not something that I want to walk through again, a pain I don't enjoy. But yet here I am, still living with this disease. It's much more controlled, and I feel great now. But and I got the opportunity to ask myself some questions of how that's affected me, how that's changed me. And man, this past album, a lot of the lyrical content comes from that lens, comes from that thought of, we've battled a lot together, and what does it look like to try and get to the other side, and what does it look like if you don't get to the other side of this sickness and this illness? So it's been a crazy journey. I'm thankful for it, and one that I'm very, very pleased with the fact that I've gotten so much better. But you don't know what's around the corner, and at one point I think I was freaked out by that, and now I'm like, you know what? That's okay. That's okay.
It's a great transition when you move from that to claiming it as part of your testimony, recognizing God's intervening hand. And I credit with Luke to be able to share that with 20,000 people in arenas, when he can. And that's amazing, and it definitely can change people's lives. And that's what it's all about. We're hands and feet. We're out there doing our thing. Everybody's got a different audience. Everyone's got a different mechanism. And just pray for each other. I ask you to continue to pray for King and Country, and that this time does soak in. He mentioned it a little bit. It can kind of almost be a whirlwind, and you're already working on next projects. But pray for them. Let them really just rejoice in the Lord each and every night, and know what they're doing, how God's worked in their lives, so they can share that blessing with others. And jamtour.com. It's an amazing experience. New song is just incredible what they pull together, and it is great to meet new fans. I'm sure it's great to meet different people from different genres and that kind of thing. And look, I want to ask your perspective. I mean, I give the Armstrong boys a pretty tough time, but I love it. I love human drama. I love what they do. The spiritual warfare thing is on stage with Red, and it is almost kind of shocking. So what was your perspective on that? What's some of the stuff that you've heard people talking about? Because it is something that Christians sometimes like warm and fuzzy, but we don't want to actually talk about the day-to-day spiritual warfare that's going on, and they kind of do a kind of an act, it's almost very theatrical for even a Christian concert. I wanted to get your perspective on that, if you could.
Well, man, it's kind of a different world for me, totally honestly. It's not an interpretation of art that I'm used to, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
right.
It's definitely different. But I gotta hand it to their creativity, and hand it to them for their creativity and just the effort that they've gone to building this. As you said, it's almost like it's mixing music and theater at times, almost up on stage. And I haven't heard a ton about from fans about what their opinion is, but I hand it to them in the way of just how creative they've been. The style of music and maybe what they do on stage is not my cup of tea per se, but I also think that it takes a lot of different types of art, and it takes a lot of different types of creativity to impact a lot of different types of people, and that is one thing that I can certainly appreciate.
Can't agree more. I think it is just a great element of what makes Winter Jam so great. It's great to see it culminate with For King and Country. I'm not going to spoil anything, as I've said many times, folks, but you are not going to be disappointed. Artists coming together, artists just sharing and worshiping together, openness with testimonies and different events that have happened in their lives and made things happen, and just feeding off one another and just their creativity. And before, earlier in the show today, we were able to talk to KB, and I know KB mentioned that you guys and he kind of partnered together. You guys do a Saturday morning devotion ahead of Jam Church on Sundays and those kinds of things. Luke, talk about the spiritual journey of being on the road and being an artist, and the pressure a little bit. I mean, no matter what you do, I mean, silly little radio show in Florida, and next thing you know, these people think you're in the limelight, like you're somebody, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm a mess. So for you guys, I mean, there's that part too. You got to be juggling that as well.
Yeah, man, that's part of the reason why we have the times that we have, is because mentioning the KB Bible study and things, we're not any of us are big enough to handle a lot of the things that are going on in our lives, and that's the reason why we try to bind ourselves together and say, hey, what have you learned over the course of time? What are you learning right now? And taking their wisdom, because one of the things when I read the Bible, especially in the Proverbs, it's always about trying to do everything you can to get wisdom, buy wisdom. Get people in your life that are go before you, and that's what that time is, man. This isn't an easy journey that we're on, and so the more people that we can have speak into what we're doing, the better. And that's really what the community of Winterjam, the behind the scenes, is very much like that, very much pouring into each other, because we want to be able to hold each other up.
Well, it's a great experience, folks, and you've heard a lot of that today. I know we're going to head into the weekend. We'll be praying and wishing them the best as they head out to the Midwest, hitting some cold weather now, man. It was warm for a couple of days, but boy, it's cold up there now. I don't envy that. So they got to stay warm and stay safe. Lift them up in prayer. Winterjam, jamtour.com. Make sure you got your information if you're heading to one of these shows or one of the ones that are coming up. And we'll link to all their social media. So if you're a little new at this, you don't know how to follow them on Facebook and Twitter, we got all that for you. We'll link to that. Make sure you can get yourself hooked up and stay in touch with them. Can't wait to see you again in Florida, my friend. You have to come down here where it's warm, and let me know when you're coming to town. We'll be able to see you guys, and definitely love praise and worship with time with you. It's great, as always.
All right. Thanks very much, man. Appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you down in Florida sometime soon.